In this video, I'm going to talk about breath support for singers. The difference between breath support for singers and breath support for a person who talks is that the singer sustains his voice. So we must learn how to sustain very well. Then we can decide whether how much to use it. But if we don't have any ability to sustain, it will be hard for you to become a singer. Now, first of all, breath support. We talk about breath, right? So immediately we will think about the chest cage, the rib cage here. The rib cage is rigid, so it will maintain the size of your lungs, so you won't collapse, so to say. So it will maintain the size so that when the air comes in or goes out, it will have force to accommodate it or press it out. But the action of the rib cage is large, so it will expel air very fast, a lot of air very fast, and suck in air very fast. Now, in order to phonate, to make sound, we must make use of the vocal folds. And the only opening into and out of the lungs is the vocal folds. The vocal folds for men is nickel size, and for women is a dime size. So for a dime size, the breath then is not going to flow out a lot at the same time. So, but if you breathe too hard, you cannot breathe a lot of air at the same time. So in order to breathe properly, one has to regulate the airflow, and that's what the diaphragm is about. The diaphragm is half dome size. This is the front, this is the back. And when the diaphragm is constricted, zoom like this, it will draw air in right away because the rib cage would not come in fast enough. So this kind of effect is called the diaphragmatic spasm, is causing a hiccup. So hiccup is actually air coming in too fast, the wrong way. The wrong way means the valve, when you come in like this, it will force it to close. So that's the hiccup effect, like is what happens. Now, when you breathe for singing, you must allow, first of all, the rib cage not to interfere with a very subtle, very even flow of air, which will produce a sustaining voice. Now that work has only been able to be maintained or done by the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a sheath muscle. So therefore, you must coordinate the diaphragm so that it will give you a very even and subtle breath flow. Now to do that, I must illustrate. First of all, in order to let the diaphragm work effectively to control the airflow, which is a sheath muscle, you must control the movement of the rib cage. See, if the rib cage is not moving, the diaphragm would have to work. Then when it works, because it is a sheath muscle, it will effect a very even flow through your glottis here. The vocal folds, the hole here is called glottis. Now, in order to do that, we must know why we have to do that. The rib cage, when it expands, it draws in a lot of air, which the opening here, the trachea or the glottis cannot accommodate. So the diaphragm is normally, when the rib cage is expanded, will come up in order to avoid the hiccup effect, and then slowly come down. The problem with a lot of singers, or even talkers, speakers, is like this. When they raise the chest, then it says the diaphragm goes in. Not much air exchange. So if for a good breather or singer who uses his breath effectively, we must raise the chest and expand the diaphragm up right afterwards. Or even expand the diaphragm immediately, which pushes your stomach and other organs out, so your tummy becomes a little bigger, like this. And then when you breathe in, breathe out, it will move more evenly, comfortably, effecting a very smooth airflow and subtle airflow. Now, what we want to do is to let the diaphragm to do its work, and the rib cage accommodates it. To do that, I suggest that we assume a certain posture. This posture is able to disable part of the action of the rib cage so the diaphragm would work. Now, by doing so, we must program our mind to direct the body to do this subconsciously. So that means a lot of practice. Now, in order to assume this posture, we can raise our hands up. Now, raising our hands up, as you will see, if you do it right now, you'll feel that there is tension in the back muscle, around this muscle, which pulls on the rib cage, so the rib cage cannot move that much. It's hard to move like this, but when you like this, the rib cage can move a lot. So watch also too. If my rib cage is directing the airflow, the diaphragm then is going opposite direction. For example, I'm expanding my chest. Okay, this goes in. When I press down, tummy goes up. So normally many people sing like that. They press down, the tummy goes up, and they try to regulate the flow. But this is not directly controlling your breath process. In order to learn how to use the diaphragm effectively and let the rib cage to accommodate the diaphragm, we must then assume a certain process, and as you breathe, you think about what the diaphragm is doing. So what we do is, first of all, form a little slit in your lips. It's the size of a dime or nickel. This way, what you do is breathe out air and breathe in like this. You will realize when you breathe out air like this, you can last a long time. Because that is how your vocal folds work. So they work to produce sound. So you're supposed to keep a very even and subtle flow through the vocal folds. Try this every day, 10-15 times, okay? Regularly, 2 times a day, 10-15 times. When you do it, you think about the diaphragm. But breathe in. You'll notice this is tightening, it's tightening. In fact, when you do it many times, these muscles in your stomach are going to give you some pain. That's good, because it's going to burn all the fat away. Okay? Now, when you breathe, make sure that you are using the diaphragm as a leader. The rib cage follows along. So when you sing, you can actually practice singing like this. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Now, I'm supporting with an even flow. It's much better than amazing grace. It's going to allow you, make you use your mucous membrane, which I'll explain in the next video, to grind. Once you grind, you get a hoarse voice. So teachers start Monday good, Tuesday little hoarse, Wednesday hoarse, Thursday very hoarse, Friday no voice. Then the rest of 2 days of rest wouldn't help you. So by about like one month or two, your voice is gone. So in fact, if you breathe very well, you can talk a long time. And then using technique of phonation and resonance, you're going to be able to sing or talk 3, 4, 5 hours a day without getting hurt. So Monday is as fresh as Friday. See? So now, also make sure that you know when you breathe, breathing should be a relaxation exercise. In other words, when you first sing, you were relaxing and very nice. After an hour singing, you get very tired. If you breathe properly, each breath is going to relax you and revitalize you, start you afresh. So therefore, make sure when you sing, you breathe enough. Breathe more, maybe up to 90%, and sing it all the way down to 20%, 15%, and maintain the same flow. Now that can be done only by raising your arm, breathing like that. Then after a while doing this, you lower your arm and maintain the same chest position. Breath then comes in. Very, very flexible. So remember, breath is life. And also breath is life for singers, because when you take a breath regularly in the right places, exercising control of breath, phraseology, and so forth, only take breath in after you finish a phrase, then you regulate your airflow. When you regulate it very well, you'll be a good singer. Breath is life. Breath saves a singer. Breath rejuvenates a singer. Breath makes a singer tirelessly singing. Breath also makes a teacher able to use dynamic in his voice and able to talk longer without getting tired. Now remember, Raise your arm first to practice every day until you program yourself to breathe diaphragmatically when the diaphragm is leading, not the chest cage. Then when you walk around, you talk and you sing using your diaphragm, then your voice can reach very far and activating resonance and so forth, which is in the next video. And good luck to you, and practice breathing every day because air is free of charge.